Welcome to the Lazy CEO Podcast, where Jim Schleckser, author of Great CEOs Are Lazy and founder of the CEO Project, features compelling experts and topics for CEOs of mid to large-size companies. Now, let's get started with the show.
Welcome, everybody, to another Lazy CEO podcast. My name is Jim Schleckser. I am your host, and I founded the CEO Project, a place for CEO peer groups. Happy to chat about that if you ever wanted. Well, today we've got a guest, and when we get asked about the point of constraint, and those who have been long-term listeners have heard me talk about point of constraint, sort of the thing that's stopping you from achieving the objectives that you want to achieve in an organization, whether it be revenue, profit, number of people you hit. Revenue is always at the top of the list. Yeah, it's probably 60% of all CEOs would say, number one point of constraint in my business is I don't have enough revenue in the business. And, if I had that, I could solve a lot of other problems. Well, you're in for a good session because we've got an expert on how to grow your revenue and grow it rapidly. Simone Severino is the founder and CEO of Strategy Sprints. He joins us from Austria, where his home is, and he wrote a book of the same title, Strategy Sprints. So this is really about, sort of throwing some rocket fuel on your revenue, and he's got a bunch of techniques he's going to talk to us about how we do that. So grab a pen and pencil. You're going to get some great ideas. Simon, welcome.
Hey, Jim. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. I guess you're up a little bit later. Not so bad. Before dinner even, right?
It's afternoon here. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, you make a very bold claim, and this is one of the things that we tell people to do is identify, really be clear about the value proposition that they provide, and then make a claim around it that they can back up, that you'd be crazy to say no to it, right? This is sort of what helps move markets. And your claim is, and you may want to help us understand for what kind of companies in particular, but you can help them double their revenue in 90 days. So sign me up. How do we do this? What
bold
are
claim,
the
right?
levers of control? What do you go after there?
Yes, bold claim. Also easy to understand, so it makes it easy to start a conversation.
Yep.
And this is something
hard to believe, though, honestly.
Hard to believe, but look, it started our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have to go into the nitty-gritty, right?
Yep.
How is that possible? If we break it down, and Jim, it's 22 years that I'm doing this every day, so I didn't come up with this yesterday.
Okay, so you're getting the hang of it. That's good.
I'm getting the hang of it. I got a little bit deep in it, and when you are a doctor that takes the pulse, and then you take the pulse of somebody and you say, "Oh, you have this level of blood sugar," and they go, "Are you a magician? How can you know that?" And they go, "Come on, I take pulse every day. I get information from pulse. Okay, you get better at pulse." Reading or listening or whatever that is, when you do it multiple times. So let's break it down into the three components of a 90 days strategy sprint and why it increases revenue by 99%, which is effectively doubling revenue.
Yep.
I learned this from my mentor.
I think
Jay
you owe me 1%, but okay.
1%. I can't please everyone. So the first, we have to increase three things by 25%.
Mm-hmm.
And those three things are eternal bottlenecks. You started with the bottleneck question. There are some temporary bottlenecks, like resources, but then there are evergreen bottlenecks. And those three are evergreen bottlenecks. The first one is your pricing power. I learned from Warren Buffett and from my mentors in business coaching that if you can pick only one thing to improve in a business, it would be wise to pick pricing power for multiple reasons, for profitability, for optionality, for of course, higher resilience of a business. You can change direction because you have still cash flow. So I can talk an hour about why pricing power, or we just go into the tactics for pricing power. So month one of the sprint, we want to increase your pricing power by 25%. We do that by improving positioning and messaging. So making clear who is this for, what is it for, and what are they comparing it to? So if you don't have this, what happens? If you have this, what happens? If you do nothing, what happens? If you do it on your own, what happens? And the main question here in month one is, what is it that's coming for your people? And do they have a plan are they ready for what's coming?
Mm.
When you ask this question and then listen, now you're positioned in a different way. And this answers your question. Does it work for every business? No. This works for businesses that have some form of transformation. So Peter Drucker would say they're in the business of transformation.
Right.
And they themselves would say, I'm a coach, I'm a marketing agency, I'm a design agency, I'm an IT shop, I am a business intelligence shop, a UX, UI shop, a design shop. But I would say they are in the business of transformation, meaning they have a high ticket offer, it's above 10K. They really care about the success on the other side. They're not just building a dashboard, they really want the other side to succeed. And that's a transformation. So before I build you a dashboard, let's say I'm a UX UI shop, before I build you a dashboard, you are flying blind. After I've built you a dashboard, you have now clarity about your direction and your velocity. So that is the transformation from being in the fog to seeing clear. And what's the worth of that for a business? You see, now we have increased pricing power. And with this increased pricing power, because the positioning is stronger, we are now business partners in the success of the other side. That's why we don't work with brick and mortar. We don't work with low ticket offers. We only work with businesses that have a high ticket offer because they care about transformation enough to really go deep. And they have to sell it online because that's the toughest thing. If you can, play golf with them and tennis all day, then it's easy to build relationships. But when you have to quickly create trust and sell a high ticket offer online in such a setting, in this square world here, in a Zoom setting, in a team setting, that's tough. And this is where they need our help and our tools. So month one, we increase pricing power. Now they can actually increase their price by 25% without losing clients.
So, okay, but let's go there for a second, because I think that's everybody's worry because I'm a big fan of pricing, and I tell everybody, raise your prices 5 or 10% today, and the impact on profitability is massive. The worry everybody has is I'm going to lose some of my existing clients. So how do you help them particularly with the 25% move? How do you, I get that new ones may not be able to value it because what's the value of transformation? But I've got existing clients I've been working with that I'd like to keep. And if I jump my prices 25%, there are other options probably. So how do you get them around that math of how many you're going to lose, how many you're going to gain at the newer price, and does it make sense?
So the standard way is we increase it for the new clients and we keep the current clients grandfathered. That is the standard way in the sprint. Now, sometimes there might be an intentional uplift for all of them, but that is tricky. That is only to be done in very specific. You have to be very careful if you do that. We don't do that very often. We increase the price for all new clients. And the sprint looks forward. The sprint looks to how you fill the pipeline and close deals. So we're looking at the conversations from now on, and you increase by 25% there. If you have recurring subscriptions, etc., keep them happy. Keep them happy. Keep them at the same price. Just deliver more value. And if they get a guilt feeling that they're getting more for less, well, then ask them for referrals. Hey, do you know 3 people who need this? I'm happy for an introduction.
Right.
And rather get 3 solid introductions. from there than, irritating your current clients. Never do that.
Got it. Okay. So price is one, and I hear you. I mean, only new clients pay the new price. That may cause some pressure on the sales process, right? And the close rate, which I know you talk about. If we close, just pure economics would say, if I close at one rate at price X and I raise the price 25%, I will likely close at a lower rate, most likely. But help me.
Unless
Why don't you go to your other
unless
levers? I don't mean
we
to jump
increase the win
ahead
rate.
here.
Yes, unless we increase the win rate, because month two is increasing win rate by 25%. There are two levers, and your audience will love it because the first lever they can immediately implement. Immediately. So thank me later, guys. Take notes. I'm giving away $1 million secret right now.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that not many people know this, but I'm getting the sales recordings now since 22 years, and I'm seeing it, right? And of course, with software and with AI now, I'm getting a ton of analysis around it and insights around it. The first one is a main driver of your win rate is your talking time.
Okay.
If your talking time is 28%, your win rate is 70%. If your talking time is 60%, your win rate is 10%.
Wow. So shut up and listen.
Yes. Build a set of strong questions and then let them do the talking. You need a powerful question, though, right? Just being silent is not enough. You ask a very powerful question, like, what is coming for your clients in the next 18 months, 24 months? And then you do a long Obama silence, 16 seconds, let them talk. Now that's powerful. So the first thing that we do, we get their recordings and we track their current time. I say, look, you have 50% talk time. The goal is to get this down to 30, 28, 27. So we have the commitment now, and they see the reason. We show them our own conversion rates, and they go, oh yeah, okay, I want to go down there. And then we have to start building what we call a sales playbook. 10 years ago, you would call it a script, right? A sales script. But it's not rigid like a script. It's a set of powerful questions that you enjoy asking, that you see having impact. Like, what happens if you do nothing? Or what have you tried so far? So there are some questions that they feel right for you. They have a powerful impact. You see it in their body language, in how they react. And you feel great asking, because they create insights and they create value. And that's the whole point. Sales is nothing else than the art of creating insights in a conversation, because you have nothing else in a high ticket sales. You don't have the product. You are not selling a shoe that you can show and this is the product. You are the product. The conversation is the only thing that they are experiencing in that moment. And so that's the only place where you can create value. They will move on with you. You don't create value, they move on with somebody else.
Got it. Okay. So shrink the talk time, powerful questions to get there would be the second lever to work, which should hopefully increase, based on your data, increase close ratio.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then there are 8 things behind me for people watching. There is a pyramid with 8 steps. We have to refine all those 8 steps. That these are minor improvements of the sales flow during the conversation and after, and how you make the offer and how the statement of work looks like. Most people don't put enough dedication into drafting a proper statement of work. We will help them with that so that it's really professional.
What would be the 1 or 2 things people miss in a statement of work?
Well, first of all, is how it's designed. So are there breaks in the line? Do you have a professional branding and logo? We're talking high ticket business. So this is 10K plus that people are sending over. Now you have to compare this with you're buying a car, or a vacation for a 5-family 1-month stay. So you want this to be a very professional experience, and so it starts with the colors, with the font, with the logo, with not breaking lines, with no typos, and with covering all the things that will happen. What are the deliverables? Who is responsible for what? Are there guarantees? What happens if something goes wrong? Payment date, start date, and all these things, those are the basic component of a statement of work.
Right.
And especially the deliverables are really important. And also the look and feel. We really care about the design of it. Then those 8 steps are refined. We have now increased the win rate by 25%. We move on to the 3rd month of the sprint. Now we want to increase by 25% the frequency of the sales.
Okay.
This is the tricky.
I read this and I'm really interested in how you increase the rate at which people buy something. So this is interesting.
It's the trickiest.
Yeah.
Because we are talking high ticket sales. So it's a B2B sales situation. That's why we have 2 plans of attack. Sometimes the first one doesn't work. We need the second. Okay. So first one, reducing the sales time from awareness to closing. What happens between awareness and closing? It's the first time I see your product, your offer. I get curious, then interested, then engaged, then I try out stuff, I download something, then I talk to you, then I talk another time, then I compare it, I watch reviews, then I talk to some people, then I talk to you again, then I get an offer, then I buy. There are so many parts.
Yeah, you just wore me out.
Exactly. So many parts.
Yeah, right.
And so we have to create a flow of these parts so that all of this happens in 20% less time. How do you do that? By designing it. We design a buyer journey that has an email with a video, an email with a checklist, an email with something that helps you along the way. And it's well designed so that you experience a crescendo of value and an intensification of the work. So you go, if the next day there is no email from us, you go, hey, where's their email? I was expecting something to come now.
Right.
You create a crescendo of intensification of insights, value, because you are on your way to solve your problem. And so those emails, those videos, they will help you clarify parts of that decision, take some parts of that decision, and you will experience value. This creates trust and credibility.
Right.
Now, this happens 50% of the time. It works, and we have shortened the sales time by creating this series of emails that we call the RBS, Relationship Building Sequence. Sometimes it doesn't. Half of the time, it doesn't. And when does it not work? When you have committees of buyers. For example, you're selling an IT solution to Coca-Cola. Well, you cannot speed that up by 25% because it's their tactic to wear you out with committees and counter offers. And it's a long process. You cannot speed that up by a significant amount, not by 1/4. That's why we have to go the other side.
And by the way, I was thinking about, I have a number of people we work with that have designed in products. So they always have this, well, we have to test it. We have to verify it. So they have their internal process to make sure the solution will actually work before they go for it. It's very similar to committee selling. I've struggled to how you accelerate that process. It's hard. So I'm really interested in the second component.
Exactly. So 50% of the time you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to a quick pilot, but that doesn't mean that the closing process will get faster.
No, we used to do things like we will do the testing for you, or we'll hand you the testing we've already done. And, they don't always believe it. So they want to do it themselves anyway. But anyway, yeah. So
exactly. That's why we need a second plan of attack. Now, let's say the first one didn't work. Let's go to the second plan of attack. Okay. We have this marketing head of Coca-Cola, who is our current client. So we go to the other side of the funnel. Our current clients, how can we do an expansion sell there? So first, how can we retain them more? Reducing the churn rate if it's a subscription, or just increasing the stay time, the lifetime value, by asking them, hey, what else do you need? most people don't ask, what else do you need?
Oh, really? No kidding.
Because the salesperson has sold a thing and now it's over to operations. Call it key account, call it whatever operations calls themselves, right? It's the people actually doing the work. And those people, they don't want to hear more problems. They go, if you ask them, hey, how's it going with the client? They go, oh my God, they have this problem and this problem and this problem. And if you're a salesperson, you go, oh, wonderful. And they go, what? It's not wonderful. They have problems all the way. But as a salesperson, you go, oh my God, we can have 3 more offers. But not everybody thinks like a salesperson.
Yeah.
So they will go, oh my God, this client has so many problems. And that's why they don't see it. So when we start looking at what else do they need, some of these things will actually click and go, wait a moment, can we solve that? Do we have something? And now 2 things can emerge. First, maybe we can't solve them. Okay, but can we have a downstream partner that we refer to? So strategic partnerships and having maybe a 15% referral that you make transparent, but you say, hey, this is the guy I trust. And that's why I have these strategic partnerships. We pay each other because we trust each other and we refer to each other. Do you want an intro? So that can be one thing. It's an upsell to a strategic partner. Another thing can be, you are the marketing head of this company. I have 15 other clients who are marketing heads of other industries, other regions. Would it be of value for you to be connected to them in a regular way? Oh yeah. What would it be worth to you? And then you hear a range. Now you have a product and the pricing.
Right.
You just bring them together. You have a paid community, paid mastermind for all marketing heads of companies with 200 employees to 400 employees. You put them together. You just make sure they are not direct competitors in the same area. And you have a wonderful mastermind. You learn to moderate, and you have an additional, or you engage a great moderator, and you have an additional revenue stream without changing much.
Yep. Well, that's fundamentally our business with CEOs as mastermind groups, as you know. But, and we talk about this in terms of penetrate and propagate, right? So there's, even when you go back one step and think about the product offering, you think about, what is the penetration product? What is the product that everybody's going to buy because it's so compelling? But then once we're in the door, what are the natural evolution of that client into other products and other services that we could offer? Your point about operations is on point. We see this in professional services firms, right? So there are rainmakers, they acquire clients, and then there are very, very smart professional services people that deliver the work. And trying to get them, and we say, look, they know the problem better than anybody.
Yeah.
But they don't like to sell. So how do we bridge the gap from particularly in professional services, the operational or the delivery people that really get the client and have a lot of trust, but they just hate to sell? I mean, it's kind of why they do what they do. Very few people can do both things well. They're rare. So how do you bridge that gap?
We are sprinting with professional services companies all the time.
Yep.
3 ways for them to solve this. And they pick their own medicine, but you can do it 3 ways. The first one, my natural tendency is, guys, pick a few of you who will immerse themselves once a month into, and this is how the big consultancies do it, actually. This is how the McKinseys and Boston consultants do it. Once a month, you have a partner coming for a coffee. Once a month, whatever happens. So it's standard, it's a default. You give it a name, like a debrief or a catch up or a sync meeting. And then you know that there is this partner, and the job of a partner is to bring more work. But they will just come by and make sure everything is fine, right? So once a month. So that's the traditional method, and it works for most professional services too. If you do that, that's the classic one. And in that, you can talk about measurements and progress, but you will hear between the lines the emotions, the unmet needs, And then you go back home and think about it, draft something, and propose it in addition.
So the goal
Done
of
by the partner.
meeting is for them to
So
gather
it's still the
data,
rainmaker.
identify
It's still the rainmaker who brought it in the first place, who hunted
Right.
that client in the first place. But they pass by once a month.
Okay. So you're just physically connecting them over coffee or
Physically.
a beer or whatever. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now it's in Zoom, but we do it. And we discuss the NPS, so the Net Promoter Score. How happy are you? What else? And one question is, what else do you need?
Yeah.
So that's way one. And some of those say, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. Okay, then let's try the second way. Second way is you train your operations people to become sales aware. Some people hate it, and I get it, and they just don't do it. So they do the first way. But some people say, okay, let's try that. And I have even professional services teams firing the salespeople because they are so expensive. And it's an experiment. Ask me in 2 years how it went.
How the no salesperson sales organization looks. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And no salesperson sales organization. They're firing their senior sales folks that are the most expensive people in the company for good reasons, but they are not the most effective anymore in a world that's changed over the last 20 years. Yep. And so the experiment is, what if we just have operations? So they are a design company. They design parts of a car, of a motorbike for industry. And so they say, what if we just do really, really good work? Plus, we train our people to become sales aware, sales competent.
Yep.
They're going that route. And we're training them right now on how to spot additional opportunities and how to make them an offer.
Okay. By the way, I think you've got the problem of having to hire unicorns in this case. Now I need somebody who's good at service and at least has some level of sales competency or willingness, right? And
willingness.
They're just hard. They're harder to find. They're harder to find.
Correct. Because they don't have the willingness. But if you have a team where you feel, okay, the willingness is here, then training is one possibility.
Okay.
You have to look for the willingness.
Yep.
And then there is a third way, which is, let's run a challenge. And this is something that we're using right now. And a challenge can do both things. It can activate the current salespeople and make them just work on steroids, because a challenge has a leaderboard, a live dashboard, and so it's competitive. And real salespeople, they love competition. They want their name on the leaderboard all the time. Boom, boom, boom. That alone makes them happy and performative. Sometimes in the middle of the meeting, they go, Simon, can I get out and sell stuff? And go.
That's funny. That's funny. And the winner goes the F1 in Monaco. Is that what happens?
Yeah, something like that. So it's a 60 days challenge. We pick either the topic of prospecting or the topic of closing. Yeah. And we say, come on, guys, let's make a 60 days challenge. Who wants to be in the challenge? Mm-hmm. Now, let's say 2/3 of them, they opt in to the challenge. So, but that's the people who are naturally doing sales anyways. But you're just helping them, motivating them. They love it. So they are in their element. But because they are in their element, they start, thriving and shining. You see them laughing, having fun. It's loud. It's literally loud. They go, chigging, I sold something. It's loud. You hear it in the other departments. And now what happens is that the other people who thought that sales is sleazy and boring and alone, they go, wait a moment. Is this fun? Let me look into it. Maybe I'm going to try. And so now some of those people, can I be part of the next challenge? Mm-hmm. Can I come and watch the challenge? And so now you activate the lurkers. We call them the lurkers because there is potential there. They didn't even know that they have willingness, but now you feel it. And so in the next challenge, you add them in. And now you're activating potential in the organization.
Love it. I'm just going to end on the last topic. By the way, remind me, there was an old Dilbert cartoon. Dilbert, who's an engineer, right? He gets assigned to marketing, and he shows up in marketing. There's a sign that says, "Welcome to marketing, 2-drink minimum." So it's like the fun place to hang out, right?
And if you don't drink like me, then you need a challenge.
You need something else. Yeah. You could do 1,000 burpees. So last thing,
fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun. The other thing you talk about is having an innate referral process built into your methodology. Tell us just a little bit about that, because I think everybody would love to have more referrals from, happy existing clients. So how do we get better at referrals? That's always a real question for people.
Oh, that's such a wonderful question. And so I hope we have 6 hours for the full answer.
We don't. You're going to have to give us the short version.
Okay. The short version is that you have to become referable.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you become referable? First, by having fun, by raising the frequency and the involvement of your heart and guts and brain and soul into whatever you are doing. Because people want to work with people who are happy and who are, and it's not happiness in terms of short-term, superficial laughter. It's you see a person that is doing their life's work, and you see them kind of glowing, you see them accomplished. You don't need to be happy all the time, but you see that they are grounded in a sense of accomplishment. I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing it for the right people. And so that's the first thing. From there, if you do that, now the other side will have results. And now you look at, now it's a timing problem. Ask them in the moment, because they will have a couple breakthrough in, let's say, 6 months with you. It will not be linear breakthrough every week, but there will be some moments where they go, oh my God, we solved the one thing that we never thought possible. That's the timing. That's the timing. Now, 1 hour later, you asked him for a referral. Thank you, Jane. Who else needs this, by the way?
Yep. And just that simple. If somebody has the success, they feel good about it. We just got married. You ask for a referral.
Yes. So it's a timing problem.
Yeah.
And now when you have found that out, now it's about putting that on repeat. Now you have to create a sales flywheel. What is a sales flywheel? You write it down. This is the process. We do good work. We look for the breakthroughs. In 1 hour after they tell us their excitement, this is the email template that goes out. This is this call script. And now everybody gets trained in that.
Yep.
Plus your strategic partner. So you will do once a month an event talking about those breakthroughs. And 3 strategic partners will send over participants to that event. So next flywheel. And then the next flywheel again is marketing, screenshots of those breakthroughs and member spotlights. Look how amazing this member is and what they have accomplished. And of course, that creates, again, an opportunity for people to see, oh, where did they accomplish it? Oh, there, cool. What is this?
Interesting. Fabulous.
So you create multiple flywheels around that.
Well, Simon, I think everybody who's listening probably has a page full of notes and good ideas based on your comments. So thank you for that. If they wanted to have more Simon in their life, how would they get a hold of you?
Best place is strategysprints.com. Many of those tools on how to create those flywheels, they are there for free available. It's strategysprints.com. If they want to go a little bit deeper, there is the book, Strategy Sprints, on Amazon, with cases with our clients describing how they had to solve pricing problems, referral problems, and how they did it using the tools. And if they want to talk to us, strategysprints.com, and then they land on our calendar, and we're happy to talk.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much. This was a really tremendous conversation and a lot of value added, and I wish you good luck in the future. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
All right. We'll see you next time on the Lazy CEO podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Lazy CEO podcast. We'll see you next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes and check out our website, www.theceoproject.com.